Hey everyone, I'm Hannah Lepsch with the Cooperative Extension Service in Yadkin County. Families are out walking, taking advantage of the warm spring weather and getting some physical activity while social distancing. Walks are not only a way to stay active, but also get outdoors and learn more about the nature around us. So, based off the idea of going on a bear hunt that has taken off in communities around the country, today we're going to go on a plant hunt. I will show you how to identify some plants that you might commonly find in this area that would be blooming now in April. Also, some easy tips for how to control them in the lawn and landscape beds. So here I am at Yadkin County Park on a beautiful afternoon. Let's go and see what plants we can find. So what's a weed anyway? Well, a weed is just a plant in the wrong place. It's a plant growing where humans don't want it. In a flower bed, in your lawn. It often has weedy traits, so it either produces a lot of seed or spreads rapidly from its roots, and it can outcompete desirable plants for water, sunlight, and nutrients. Weeds can be cool season or warm season, so right now we're seeing the end of cool season weeds that grow and thrive in cool temperatures around 60 degrees to 85 degrees and die back or go dormant during the summer months. Weeds can be annuals or perennials, annual meaning that they live only 1 year, set seed and reproduce for the next year by seed, or perennials where they live more than 2 years and come back from their roots or underground structures. Well, I've spotted our first weed to identify on this plant walk. This is purple dead nettle. It's in the mint family and is related to a similar looking weed that you might confuse it with called hembet. They both have these small purple flowers which are quite pretty and also a great early nectar source for bees and pollinators. So if you can stand them in parts of your lawn or landscape, leave them for the bees. Purple dead nettle is an annual weed. It has a shallow fibrous root system, so if you catch it early enough, it's quite easy to pull by hand when the soil is moist. And I just want to emphasize here that knowing the life cycle of a weed is key to controlling it. With annual weeds, you either want to remove the seed source by mowing, cultivating, or treating with a herbicide before seeds form, or you can come back in the fall in late August or September and apply a pre-emergent herbicide to the soil that will also keep the seeds that are there from regrowing. A layer of mulch does the same thing by keeping those weed seeds in the dark and making it less likely that they will be able to sprout. So our next weed on this plant walk is common speedwell, Veronica arvensis. This is a low-growing winter annual weed, a little bit more difficult to spot than hembet and dead nettle. It has small blue flowers, which are in this picture but kind of hard to see. As you can see, it grows and thrives in lawns that are not as healthy or vigorous as they could be. So if you have bare spots in the lawn or weakly growing grasses, speedwell tends to thrive. A great control for this weed is maintaining a vigorous, healthy, dense lawn by practicing the appropriate fertilization, liming, and watering practices. The last plant I have on our plant walk is the iconic common dandelion. It has deeply toothed leaves in a basal rosette and produces this easily recognized flower, yellow flower and seed head with parachute seeds that are blown by the wind and help it spread rapidly through lawns and flower beds. Now this makes it a very troublesome weed and difficult to eradicate. It's a perennial weed, unlike the two annuals we've already looked at, and it has a deep growing taproot structure underground. So even if you cut it all the way back to the soil, it will resprout from that taproot. What's really needed is a dandelion knife or a trowel to try to get as much root out as possible. Dandelions sometimes have to be controlled by herbicides, but now is really too late to apply a herbicide because the plant has already bloomed and is going into dormancy. Wait until the fall, maybe set a reminder on your phone for October, November, when you can apply ideally a systemic herbicide while the plants are young and just starting to grow. Also removing seeds before they mature is a way to keep it from spreading in your landscape. Well, that's it for our first plant hunt. Thanks for coming along to find and identify some cool season weeds. If you see purple dead nettle, common speedwell, or common dandelion on your next walk, post a picture on Facebook and tag Extension Horticulture Yadkin County. We'll give you a shout out and let you know when our next plant hunt is coming up. So thanks for coming along, and I hope you learned something.